The acceptance of a bid and approval of contract and resolution number
26-22.
26-22. Appointing purchasing agent for the Service Blake Soccer Complex Phase 1 project for Engineering Parks Department for $5,170,000.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
It's me again. Good
Yes.
evening. So, again, item 5B11. So the Service Blake Soccer Complex improvements. So just I thought it'd be helpful just to have a little background on the complex. So of course it's located on Danforth, just west of Kelly. It was built in 1981. How the current partnership works is the city owns the facility and it's operated by the Edmond Soccer Club. There's 16 full-size fields, 10 have lighting. The last major capital improvement that was taking place on the facility was in 2012, so about 10 years ago, and that added concession stands on the east side and 3 additional fields. I just want to give some data about how busy the facility is as well. So as far as league play, for a 5-year average in the spring, it's just a little under 2,000 participants, and then in the fall, it's 1,750. And then every year they host 3 large tournaments that average 210 teams each tournament. So between league play, academy practices, and tournaments, like I said, it's a busy place. What's in front of you this evening, the parts that are going to be in this construction project. So there's several needs in the facility, and I'll talk more about a phasing that is proposed for this facility then, but first we'll focus on what this project is right now. So the city and the operator decided to focus on infrastructure improvements first, and so what those will be, I'll have some pictures in a minute, but it'll be demo and rebuild the 2 concession and restroom complexes on the west side of the facility, demo and rebuilding the maintenance building, as well as beautifying the entrances and adding a drop-off lane to improve traffic on the west side of the facility. Cost and timeline. So the award is for $5.17 million to Shiloh Construction. So city staff, as well as the design engineers, determined this is the lowest and best bid. And the budget estimate was $6.5 million. And again, I spoke about this earlier with the moving of money from this account to help pay for the design of the library and YMCA. The reasons for the difference was the project estimating, as I talked about, difficult in the current climate, and then value engineering that took place in between the time the budget was set at 6.5 and adopted by you all, and then before we got to 100% construction documents. So some steel was removed, and we were able to keep the character of the 3 buildings. And the timeline for this project is 240 calendar days. The notice to proceed will be issued on November 21st. We wanted, one of their busiest tournaments of the year is the Turkey Shootout that happens. It's going to be the first weekend in November this year, and so we wanted to make sure that that tournament was done and completed, also while allowing, as we talked about, contractors are incredibly busy right now, so we thought it was a timeline of giving them a month after award was a time that was justifiable. We didn't want to squeeze them too much because we thought the cost might increase. So, and play will continue during construction. So future improvements, to talk a little in the future, there's lots of needs at the facility, and so it was always planned that this would be a phased approach. And so in future phases, what we're looking at is the condition of the actual field, sidewalks, parking, and shade. But I put up here, but first, one thing that staff, in fact, the RFQ should be out tomorrow. What we're interested in doing is a needs assessment of some of our facilities, and this facility will be included in that. So this is a partnership between Parks and Recreation and then to look at sports tourism, so Visit Edmond. So we're looking to hire a third-party expert to understand the full potential of our sports facilities, and then modifications needed and recommendations on operational models. So that assessment will look at baseball and softball at AC Kaplinger, at Mitch Park, at Edmond 66 adult softball, our pickleball facility at Kickingbird, and then also Edmond Center Court. So just a little bit more of what's to come with that. So again, it should be released tomorrow on our website, and then we'll work with a consultant to work through a needs assessment for this facility as well as those others. So this is my 8-year-old daughter. This is a terrible attempt to try to show you where this project was, and she could probably do better than me, but I was trying to just let people know exactly where this is. So here's Danforth right here. Here is Kelly just over here. So as you enter the facility, what we'll call the main entrance, there'll be a new sign right here, and then as you make your way down here to the south, where these improvements are going to take place, oh, yeah, thank you for that, is going to be right there where the cursor is, and a little further south is the maintenance building, and then to the furthest south is where the second restroom and concession stand is. So here's some visuals. Here's the pretty picture. So this is the main north complex right here, and then as well as the drop-off area. That will be a drastic improvement for dropping little Johnny and Jane off for their practice or tournament. Just some other visuals too that look a little small on the screen, so I'll go ahead and skip them, and I'll do it for this too, but just try to give you a visual of what the south building will look like as well. So again, much needed improvements to a facility that's very busy, and there hasn't been a major capital expense in this facility in over 10 years. So that is my presentation. Happy to answer any questions Mayor or Council may have.
Well, I'm happy that we're doing another project at the complex. Some of the comments I've heard from some of the tournaments that are there, that they like the facility, need the improvements. They like that they were able to bring more than, their children played on more than one age group team, and they were able to be housed out there instead of being playing here and the child is playing in Norman.
Yeah.
And so that was good.
Yeah.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I see Mr. Sosby here, and good to see him, the general manager for Edmond Soccer Club, and also got a statement or a message sent to me from a board member on their board, and it's real quick. He asked me if I would read it, if that's okay, from Dan Weinmeister. On behalf of the ESC board members and the Edmond soccer community, we would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to the City of Edmond and Parks and Recreation Department for the upcoming renovations to the Edmond Soccer Complex and their continued investment in youth soccer from the ESC board. And then I also want to say they have been wonderful partners most recently, and we're looking for space for Friday Night Lights to go, and we're growing the baseball and softball program, and they've been so understanding and helping out with that, and so we all know when we talked with them, we're busting at the seams with youth sports and in about everywhere we have, and I know that's why the needs assessment is coming along and the facilities assessment. But I just want to give credit where credit's due and thank them for working with us and being patient during this time and just being community partners.
I second that. We had a lot of pressure for rectangular fields, and it really, really helped us for you guys to share that facility for a bit. Thank you.
Temporary, helping out temporarily, yes. I need to say.
Thank you very much for the comments. Anything else, Council? Thank you very much, Andy.